So yearly, tens of thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands of people, carry their bags in Africa and travel to the Western world in search of greener pasture, better life, hope, and all those beautiful things. And almost immediately all those people get abroad, there's always that wave of complaints like, okay, I never thought this is what it feels like being abroad. You hear people say things like, I've never worked this hard in my life. Oh, I used to stay in a mansion in Nigeria, now I'm sharing flats. Yes, the money as I'm making it is going, I'm in debt, blah, blah, blah. There's all types of complaints. And just as there's that many complaints, then you have the people back home now countering those abroad like, bruv, if it's that hard, why not come back home for someone else to go? If it's as hard as you claim, then come back home. Why are you people always complaining? People would say things like, oh, you guys are only saying these things so we don't come and join you guys abroad. So it's like the big question, if it's as hard as you make it to seem, why haven't you carried your own bags and come back home? Jesus! Jesus! Hey! See, that's $1 million question. And for me, I can easily make videos each day addressing reasons why it's hard for a lot of people to just carry their bags and go back home. And none of these reasons will have anything to do with financial prosperity, because people believe the reason everyone leaves Africa or leaves Nigeria is in search of more money. I'll share 2 real life stories that I experienced recently that will give you guys an idea of why it's hard for some people to simply go back home. But then before then, recently we were clearing the house, myself and my wife, and we came across some shoes like these ones that my son has outgrown. A lot of these shoes, I was like, a lot of them are still as good as new. We had them filled up in a bag. And she was like, babe, when will you have time to throw this out? And something came to my head like, stay with me, I'm getting somewhere. If this was Nigeria, we always have people to pass things down to. Maybe your driver, your gateman, your cleaner, your nurse. And it instantly clicked in my head how it's so easy in countries like Nigeria or countries where the social class is so diverse, like the difference between the rich and the poor is so much. It now clicked in my head that that's where taking dignity away from people starts from. Like the feeling for people that pass things down and the feeling for the people that receive it is like, and it's in the faces of each person. So in a lot of cases, that's why it seems like in Nigeria, there's the thing where they say we worship the rich. It's not like anybody wants to wake up today and start calling their mates chairman, their mates oga. No. If you work for someone and that person has things you desire and you know it doesn't cost that person anything to give you those things, in say example of these things, we are throwing these things out anyways. So in Nigeria, it's like, yeah, I want to have it. So obviously you will want to be in such people's good books. That's why it's become hard to correct people in Nigeria when they are in the wrong. And you have to be at the mercy of that person because you want to get something, you want to get this, you want to get that. But then when you now bring it to this country or developed countries to say UK, US, now where does these shoes go? Does that mean there are not people in this country that are maybe less privileged? Does that mean everyone in this country can afford to buy shoes of £35, £40, £50 for kids? No. Yes, they probably want to take those things at lesser price or even for free. But they won't ask you because there is already a system. They know where they can go to get those things without belittling themselves to you because you have more or they have less. That's why they have charity shops where you can literally take all of these things to. And so there's that system that bridges that gap between those that have more and those that have less. You have the charity shops where you have things you no longer need, take it there, and those that want those things but want to pay less, go there and pick up. So there is not that chance where one person now starts to feel lord over the other person. Living in countries like this, you hear people say things like, even the prime minister cannot oppress you. It's just the system. automatically you feel you have more respect in your being, you have more dignity in yourself, you feel more human because you are not at the mercy, you are not necessarily at the mercy of anyone. So if you want something, there are places you go, not to people, not to the boss that you work with, that, oh, can I have the car you no longer use, or there are systems in place that won't require you belittle yourself simply because you don't have. No. What am I saying basically is, I won't want to go back to a system where I now have to belittle myself again, where I now have to be less of a human. Yes, is it really hard in this country? I tell you 100% it is. It is hard. I've seen people go through things that even me would ask, like, why not just go back to Nigeria? Why not just go back to Ghana? But then when you think of it again, it's like, go back to Ghana and be at the mercy of people again. So basically, on one part, you feel whether you work hard or don't work hard, whether you make money or don't make money, whether you're one way or the other, you will always be at the mercy of one person or more people. Why in the other country, you don't need to, you want to get something from a certain office, you don't need to know someone that knows someone that then knows someone. No, the system works. Are the people in this country rich? No. Are people struggling? Yes. But you know when you work, you know how much to expect. So it's not a thing where you work for 6 months and someone is owing you salary for 6 months. Or it's not a thing where you work and someone makes you feel like them paying you is a privilege. Like, I'm paying, is like, I said I was going to tell a story. So a friend of mine, I used to live in Nigeria, obviously. So I have this friend, rich guy, young, wealthy, and as a young, rich person in Nigeria, you have a lot of girls that are always at your beck and call. Like, if you call them 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, where are you? I'm in your city. They are available because, yes, you have money, do you understand? So this guy used to be, or he is that guy. So I moved to London. He still lives in Nigeria, but then he visits London often, maybe twice a year or thereabout. So sometime late last year, he was in London, and one of the girls he used to see in Nigeria happened to move to London around the same time I moved to London. So he's always said, I can't wait to come to London. That this is my bunny, this is my girl somewhere in London. Like, oh, I'll have a good time, blah, blah, blah. Then he came to London. He was staying somewhere in Canary Wharf, an Airbnb. So maybe after work, I would go and say hi. Like, then I'll ask, like, the second day, where is so person? Then he would say something like, oh, she's working today, she's not at time, blah, blah, blah. She said she's going to come tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. So I think the 2 days before his flight out of London, he has still not been able to see this girl. Then we were chilling, then it was already a weekend, then we were drinking. So he called this girl. Then he started to like, what's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. I've been trying to reach you, this one, that one. How come I've been in this city for, like, who do you think you are? Nigerian men. So he got pissed, like, how can I? This is someone that, okay, quick backstory. There was one time we were in Lagos, back in the days when this uni in Benin Republic used to be, like, popular, Udegbe, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. We were in I think we got to Lagos at around 10 p.m. I've never seen such thing in my whole life. And my guy called this girl. She was schooling in Udegbe. It's not a thing of maybe she was in Lagos and it was a video call. Like, oh, I'm in my room, blah, blah, blah. And my guy said, oh, can you make it to Lagos tonight? For those that are not aware of this whole thing, Udegbe is in Benin Republic. Benin Republic is a different country. Lagos is in Nigeria. So this guy basically called this girl at 10 p.m. if she could be in Lagos, and this girl literally packed her bags. And long story short, she was in Lagos. I think she got to Lagos around 2 a.m. or thereabout. Now that gives you an idea the level of control he had over this girl. Now we're in London, and it's looking like I've been here for how long now? 4 days, and he's one excuse. So he was pissed, like, who do you even think you're talking to? Then the way this lady snapped. Like, don't you ever in your life talk to me like that. Why? Is she now a rich person in the UK? No. Is my guy still very wealthy? Yes. But this lady is now in a system where she works, she gets paid. Yes, she's not as wealthy as you. Yes, she doesn't have the G-Wagon. Yes, she doesn't have all of these things. But she works, she gets paid. She can have a decent roof over her head. She can go on vacation. Yes, if she wants to be greedy, she wants to have the, what's it called? She might indulge, like, but then she can now say, you can't talk to me like that. Because unlike when she was in Nigeria, she was at your mercy 100%. Says she goes to work in Nigeria, she gets paid 200,000 naira per month. That's if you're lucky. Says 75,000, 80,000 or 100,000. And someone is calling you and he wants to buy you an iPhone of 900,000 naira. And you will, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but you're now in a place where all of these things, you're not rich. Like I say, I keep saying you're not rich, but you can now afford, like, these things that used to be luxury somehow become reachable for you. So it automatically installs or it reinstall that self-dignity in you. Now you can't talk. And this also happens in a lot of marriages where people, oh, you're the wife that used to be anything you do, my lord. In Nigeria, I guess abroad, and it's like, okay, I'm not having this anymore. We have to go our separate ways. She's now empowered. And it's not as if she's now rich, but she's now in a place where there's respect for your being. And it's not a respect that the system just, it just puts things in place where you don't have to be at the mercy of anyone, basically. I don't know if this video is getting too long, but then, yes, my guy got pissed and the lady instantly put him in his place. Did she let her come? Yes. But it was a thing of, if you want to see me, you will talk to me with respect. What do you mean, who do you think you are? And this is where the whole thing in Nigeria, do you know who I am? I will discipline you. So it just tells you that, will I as a person want to go back to that kind of system where at every slightest thing I will need to be at the mercy of someone? Hell no. No. And does that have to do with money? You're still rich in your Nigeria, fine, good, I'm happy for you.
I made a video the other day talking about what I went through to get a passport in Nigeria, an international passport, and it was hectic. You have to know someone that knows someone. You don't want to know what it takes to get a contract in Nigeria, like to do the most basic things. Like, people have turned to semi-gods because one way or the other you have to do someone's bidding to get nah, fam.
Am I struggling in the UK? Yes, I'm struggling, but I'm human. I have my dignity in place. I won't come and beg you to feed. Will I have to go and clean toilets? Yes, I will clean the toilet, but after cleaning the toilet, I already know my hourly rate. I already know how much. Will I go and clean poop? Oh, yes. Will I go and wash dead body in the mortuary? Oh, yes. I will do all these things, but I still have my dignity in place. I won't be at your mercy. I feel human. I don't feel I have to belittle myself to get basic things. So yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. So this just came to my head and I thought to share with you guys, like, okay, next time you want to ask, okay, why not just carry your bags and come back home? My dear, I don't want to come where I feel less of a person. Simple as ABC. It's not too much English, I believe. But yeah, if you can relate to what I said, if you can relate to this whole thing, drop a comment in the comment section. Let's talk. Let's what's your own reason that you feel going back to Africa might be a little bit hard for you? Let's just talk. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.